Philip Lawrence Sherrod, painter, poet, composer, reading to you from a manuscript called Mae Stro'S Posthumous Papers, 7 poems. First poem is 20-foot cat holding rat, Union 79 NYC, down street in front of my building. 10-foot rat, union steel workers sticking up for what's right as macho puff-ups. How did it come to this? Well, you tell me. In Walt Disney's reign and my downfall, Hollywood trucks in no gag order, in truth, I've been gagging all your life. That for the record being said, and it comes as no surprise to me, sex sells, 'cause everybody's heard someone say, wait till I get a hold of that F-U-C-K-I-N-G rat. And humor good or bad, 'tis no acceptance for F-U-C-K-I-N-G. And as human tragedy, I don't get it, she said. Then try giving your man some Viagra, I said, she looking at me blankly with no apparent feelings. Well, you've got it this time, I said, right in the mouth, words running down her chinny chin, me preoccupied with yelling men, in pain, dropping steel bars on someone, and up walks Elias Louis Karras, the Greek safety inspector. Per man job, the security man, from Dominican Republic, telling me to remember his name, Contreras, Miguel Contreras, and he winked, and I started drawing obscene dick on wall saying he was bigger than us all. Me looking at Karras's 6'4" frame and getting red-faced. Him saying, who cares? Me feeling a little sorry for him. She saying, let me see it. And as only an Aries male can blush, him turning red with anger, a man felt very uncomfortable for the safety record to be filed away in lower Manhattan filing cabinets, and in truth, microfished to high water and low road. Digitized silly by digitizing Lucy. And in other words, a fish out of water has no legal rights, even in wearing pink tights, uptown gallery, and drinking African rum. Feelings, one way to heaven. Second poem. After having placed 8th Avenue graffitiized images on 57th Street bathroom wall of ASL with porno window words like umbilical turds for the underclass privileged bourgeoisie, I get letter from Tupelo Press. Jerry Levine, editor, saying, Mae Stro'S is a very strange collection. If I knew what to make of it, I'd tell you, but frankly I do not. Who is the audience for these poems? What is at stake? What risk, where, or what is the moment of each poem? I have only questions. Bullshit, Jerry, going on like middle-class repetitions of legalized propaganda and common factions, and of what value is poetry anyway? Back to Annie Says and Rick Mixture, legal textbook administrator, saying, I don't see any money in it. Boys, you've missed the boat. What about language and creative imagination, personality and knowledge, talent, recording, discordant history, and its personal relationships towards wisdom and spiritual concerns of something ain't right in Salzburg? Instead of, I'd rather publish idiot repeats of craft and imbecilic sentiments of days repast, repeat, calling themselves into group therapy, cringing cowards with no spirits and no hearts, as if talent and posy 'tis not enough of an issue for reading and insulting an intelligent audience out there. Cow shit, steer shit, calf shit. You boys better start shoveling anyway. I put that one out to pasture, eh, Louis? posture of the pompous assholes when for the sake of art you could have made a difference. Give America a break. Give Betsy Ross a Lester piano. Sweet notes like flag. Poem 3. Al, in all those hours boasting about collecting great art, mine included, no reason to be excluded in New York Times and half-page spread obituaries for you and I were just a stone's throw to ossified war. You making quips like, well, he looks like an artist. Or she said, I can't give your work away. Or do you want me to show your work or mine? And you look good. Or are you built like a football fullback? Charade broke my heart. To see you blacklisted, smile on your photoed face, devil may care chuckle, yet those were the good times. Bugatti full, with cars collectible, and I introduced you to Harrison Charles Taylor, tennis pro friend, hustler, who beat you at your game of tennis hustle, and you said, couldn't get in a game edgewise, and that the lefty aced you every time on time. All those stories you told me seducing my passion to measly dollar bills, me starving of paint, red and yellow, and those $200 checks I had to wait for, you talking to Joan Wolfe and drinking her favorite sherry, if she liked you, and you telling me not to open Pandora's box, me painting one Jewess after another. And the time you took me and Jeremy to lunch, her telling you she wanted to pose for me spread eagle like this, throwing her arms wide open. I almost choked on my Frankfurter. You got red in the face when you found out I had been at her place. And your second wife and her story, the stewardess, unbuttoning my shirt, telling me she wanted me after 8 fish house punches, throwing her on my shoulder, and you yelling, hey, Sherrod, where are you going? That's my wife. Me setting her down gently. Poem 4. Another can to touch. Molest at will. Of Wolf brand chili predator mile no beans. How the hell can you eat chili, much less without beans? Idiocy, a dying breed. But Vivian gets the big idea that her friend in Oklahoma City, what's her name, Melanie, should do me in the honors. With the little note, I look forward to meeting you, with an A. Until then, every joy and blessing, what am I to make of that? Only God knows. Oklahoma City must be predator, serial chiliest, with Vivian, writing on can with Sharpie pen, her usual school teacher remarks, 8/30/06, limiting each can to its lethal spoilage date, slightly brilliant. If Alzheimer's runs rampant, or restrictions on life giving dates to memory, so be it. Hot stuff. Tasted good, cleaned out the plumbing. Longest vow supporting stability of, and I was there. Or down in Mexico City doing the carumba or hat dance, a mile a minute with 10-gallon hats slightly crimped from soaking in the horse trough, so's I can roll the brim up at county fair with Harvard just before he burst his thinking gut of pot shotting his pictures, a little soup here, then liquid orgasm. Poor fellow, some Indians just don't get it. Nature versus white man's destructive civilizations. Damn immigrant Eastern European at worst, you can't take Western out of the clouds without memory, of proud sitting bull, put to pasture, poor Indian, head nickel, looked like Comanche, Apache, when the blood picture was pure and wigwam true. Before Indian got white man's goat, milking art to abortive abstract taste, to cater to Eastern dealer supporting his never having painted beyond first base, classless lawyer, worked 15 years, he said, at Pentagon. I said, show me your abstract paintings. He declined. Poem 5. Baiting up Squarepants Bob and the brillo-haired virgins around the concrete clock to their possible demise, time setting up Jack and Jill to come down the hill, overqualified by words of F.M. Baumgartner, ornithologist and birdwatcher enthusiast, and in from Oklahoma State University, shades of the living dead, ghost busting the birds, seeing cloudy orbs and feeling cold presences from the other side, and hee-hawing and laughter about the Harvard professors and Yale school marms, because I just got a feeling. Let's get serious, you say, because everybody speaks this way. The verbal dumb bastards reign supreme and majority rules. And the bums and street people have pity on them, have pity on me too. What an evil world, blowing everybody down to kingdom come, Lord come. It's the killing tension, waiting on Aquarius in the age of, let's say, 29 years young, she late again for our final meeting and the last kiss in the universe, since she poses nude, and in from of lots of people she'll come to me quite well dressed, and maybe with that dumb look on face I like so much. Give me yourself a break. She remembers nothing for 4 years, then shows up again crystal-eyed, talking about her sister and how I should speak to her. What a tizzy. Dame, pushing it into oblivion, tense as a mackerel, and stinking to low art. And heaven with the kindest perfume, a pussy maiden mom sent all of the instant making mothers talking gibbly-gock like this week's pert turkey, going on the block head first, like my phone call, this is Marie Antoinette. 21st century, and it was nice meeting you at the gallery, and please call me. I called her 3 years later. No reply. So how's them apples? If she was so eager, why didn't she pick up the phone? I hates girly deadlines except every time of month when they want to do it. Poem 6. Been known to lug down a few on St. Paddy's or any other holiday, not really a drinking man, says you, but putting on my green socks to wow 'em, my lucky foots, my lucky charms, trying to make it to happy hour, 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m., on 14th Street at Irish McKenna's, him snub-nosed and not about to yield, broken nose once, doesn't remember how, when, or where, medium size, heavy bill like any other Rumpelstiltskin, or Irish Bigori, and hitting the sauce, 3 Guinnesses downed at leisure, Vivian hanging on shoulder and screeching pitch of voice, East Texas, Beaumont Bell, still virgin, frozen by anger, drawings, dickaholic, trying to get an art educated edgewise, and talking about nothing in particular, just like Irish bitch on wheels or schoolmarm, drunk but educated, on being young, ovaries still amuck, and taking hormone pills per each Budweiser gulp. Dangerous combination of backwood okie Texan, young man 28, feeling his cojones, trying to hook cold scorpion up with tail, her being most defensive aggressive, words splitting into atoms that count in the wrong nature ain't the way it used to be, says old-timer sitting next to me. Says from Connecticut, me wondering who asked him. Him grinning and winking, bleary and blue-eyed, reminds me of frost on country stone walls, making good neighbors, head buttress snub nose like woodchuck, chipping away at the big gate, clouds rolling in overhead, bellowing nimbo cumulus, thunderheads building dark and dangerous to female funnels, turning both clockwise and counterclockwise tornadoed wonders, purpurating phenomenal purpurations of Venus, two Graces, and in the scheme of bulbous Beelzebub things to two barmaids, ready for asking, and how much head do you want on your 3 Guinnesses? Last poem, poem 7. Blue lights on subway walls, tunnel third rail not illuminated yet. Bible Belt Christians lined up for the final assault like off and on. Contradistinctions, the religious madman drinking a quart of milk. The religious heretic about to succumb to lesser arguments and not of our doing, Christians with blue ascendants, something like Rorschach test, multiplied twice like the last century, and Marlene Dietrich singing songs of low tempo, cell phones trying to update last comunicado, blue baby blues played through our Berlin's memory, and blue angels arriving on time, for once in New York, off and upper Broadway, to Germantown bruises for Jews that don't forget, and why shouldn't they live in fear? And now Al-Qaeda wants to destroy New Israel. The only hope from poverty to materialistic nirvana leaves the blacks in suffrage. Maybe it'll work out. For the chosen people, slaves forever to social consciousness, keeping up with the Jones or Johnny be dumb, we had a nice run, evoluting our past foilables and maybe gutter rate like rats running wild on subway, 5th Avenue and 42nd Street at local stop, R for rat, running like rat-a-tat-tat, hurrying home to little rats, carrying a morsel like sandwich to the little bony tails, crawling on bellies ground smooth like all the bad paintings of war in the Louvre, masterpieces to 20th century blues, to Iraq, to Afghanistan clues, that bin Laden ain't been caught yet, and Saddam Hussein hung while Shiites taunted, talking, shouting, cell phones recording trash talk, creating Arab instability, maybe more civil war, and Americans go home to Yankee Doodle. 7 poems taken from the manuscript of Mae Stro'S posthumous papers. This is December the 9th, 2011. Philip Lawrence Sherrod, painter, poet, composer.